We're starting off today's video at 365 LP, and we immediately spot a friendly face. This was the Heimerdinger from the other game that swapped lanes and played bot lane with us. I was attempting to get him to come back to the bot lane because of how successful it was, but Jhin had already locked in. I think it is very safe to say that the Jhin Sion combo in the bot lane wasn't working out as planned. Various factors contributed. Me missing multiple Qs definitely was the highlight of those factors. But of course there were other things going on. I feel like some of those Qs were a bit dodgy if you ask me, but hey, I'm biased. Realistically, all I'm trying to show you with these clips is that the start of this laning phase, it was far from optimal. We were losing gold left, right, and center. Nothing was going in our favor with the passive. There's also a disconnect between the ADC and me. In this situation right here, the Jhin should be attacking the Ashe. Rather than running back and allowing them to just wail on me, he could be trading with me so they can't do that and I can walk away. But I have no choice but to stand and fight for myself. I was definitely seeing red. Starting to see the red come out of me. I'm typing. Not happy, not happy. It can be very frustrating though when you're landing consistent Qs onto champions that have no summoner spells and every single time they're just not being killed. Especially when I know that if Heimerdinger was in the bot lane, these would all be kills. Like, we're just losing gold as a team because he didn't want to swap. Luckily for me, the pain, it didn't last forever. Jhin is going back and Heimerdinger decides to roam to the bot lane. So I'm trying to convince Jhin to go to the mid lane. And this is exactly why. As soon as the Heimerdinger comes to the bot lane, we get a kill immediately. The combination between our CC and his damage, we have enough to kill the enemy. They can't just walk away. At the end of the day, we are a team and we're trying to get as much gold as possible for the mid game, right? So if it means that you have to put yourself in a semi-bad lane so that we can get super fed and carry the game, I think you should just do that. I'm fairly certain Jhin could farm the mid lane relatively well. He ends up rotating back to the bot after clearing one wave. Honestly, I'm not too sure why. I assume he plays without chat on. Either way, it's whatever. At least I got some fun out of it. I got to mentally reset. That's probably the biggest score out of this entire situation, not even the gold. After the successful Drake fight, we ended up going back to the bot lane, which kind of feels a bit weird, mainly because we have so much gold right now. It feels like we're further ahead in the game, but we're really not. It's still quite early. We have so much gold that we can start taking suboptimal trades and still profit from them. Skipping ahead, we are now in the mid game. We jump over the wall attempting to catch out the Ashe, and randomly the Seraphine is there, and this is the trigger for a big team fight. The scoreline is still dead even. They have a decent amount of gold on their bot lane, but most of their gold is focused on Set, which we haven't even shown so far. Set and the brand, they were getting a lot of gold. One of the strongest features about Heimerdinger is its ability to sneak and kill barons and objectives very easily and very early in the game, and that's no different this game. We rushed the baron, secured it without contest. Immediately after, we are now fighting for the Soul Drake. I imagine in that little exchange there, you can see just how strong the set was and how much respect I was giving him. We end up stalling them out. They're trying to get into the pit, but we're pushing them back. And in that duration, the Heimerdinger snuck the Soul Drake. We then rotate to the mid lane to siege. We're doing 4-1. Aatrox wants to pull the set away from the team fight because of how strong he is. It makes sense. And we managed to get a very clean engage onto the enemy team. Look at how afraid our team is of this set. He's flanking by himself, 1v4 raid boss moding us. I mean, it didn't work, but the balls he had to attempt it. I mean, come on. With the enemy team missing their strongest players, we push our way through and secure a middle inhibitor. And this also opens up the opportunity for us to force this Baron, and they know it, so they're trying to come and contest it. If we get it, the game, it's over. Despite a valiant effort from the enemy team, we do secure the first game of the day. It was an intense game, and I'm glad that we got to play again with this Heimerdinger. And now we're on to game number 2. We're playing Sion with a Vayne. When was the last time I saw a Vayne ADC? I have no clue. Our Vladimir gets caught in the enemy red side while trying to ward the Raptors. He ends up dying to a Thresh Q. This Thresh is really good, by the way. Once I see Thresh is in the mid lane, I attempt to sneak my way into their side of the brush. Attempt being that key word. Even though they spotted me, I stay in the brush because Thresh started with his Q. Most of his damage comes from the passive of his E. If he doesn't land a Q and we get to engage onto him, we can make a play and profit from it. Boy, what a great plan that was. Of course, the Thresh lands the Q again. He's 2-0. I was foolish to think that he wouldn't land it. This puts us in a very awkward position. I'm trying to trade back and attempt to suicide and utilize my passive, but the Vayne wasn't keen on it, which is fair enough, so I start running. I much prefer suiciding because when you're running, they get to deal free damage onto me versus if I suicide, it's the other way around. We're in this awkward spot now where they get level 2 first, and the Thresh does what he does best. He lands a Q onto us. I mean, he's on a roll. 3 Qs in a row. He hasn't missed yet. But you know who has missed? Our Lee Sin. Keep an eye on the amount of Qs that this guy misses this game. Kaiser wastes his flash. I don't know what's going on here. I'm not going to commentate it. Who fucking knows? Maybe it was a genius bait from this Kaiser with that flash, you know? He was just trying to bait him in because he knew his jungler was coming. Either way, they get a double kill. I'm left alone in the bot lane. Things are not looking great. At this point, you would think there's 0 chance we find a way of turning this around. But you'd be wrong. I'm assuming you thought that we were going to win that fight. Nope, we lost it again. So we died once again. Kaiser's on 5 kills now, I believe. Either 4 or 5 kills she's chilling on. I did, however, see the Thresh in the mid lane. He's trying to do more than he should. This is something that happens once you think you've won the lane. You start extending your lead to other lanes. Well, this game, that didn't work because I was sitting in the dry bush waiting for him. Just witnessed the beginning of the end for the enemy team. Right after the Thresh caught us once again. We were trying to recall. Motherfucker was in the brush. As I've come back to lane, the wave is stacked at the tower. I'm trying to poke them down. I know I'm almost level 6. I'm trying to allow the Vayne to come and for me to bait them in. I get to level 6 and this is a free engage for us. Last video, I asked you guys to leave a comment and like the video. It ended up helping out a lot, so feel free to do it again if you don't mind. I know I gave this Lee Sin a lot of shit about his Qs, but overall, he was playing really good. I can tell he knows how to play Lee Sin, he's just missing. I end up dropping a ward for him. He takes the ward. We get a kill. Isn't that sweet? That play does not work very often. And that's because there's no comms. Riot Games, there's no comms. Anyway, you probably can notice that there's a big shift in the dynamic of this lane. All of a sudden, they're on the back foot and we are just going absolutely ham. It really didn't take much to shift the tide, maybe 1 or 2 kills, and obviously a lot of help from the Lee Sin, but we did manage to somehow turn this lane around, and now they're in a position where they can't do anything all of a sudden. They're in a lot of trouble and we are just absolutely dominating them. That was the first all-in team fight from both teams. It went heavily in our favor, which allowed us to take this Baron for free. Well, almost for free. We used the Baron buff to push into their base, and then the final fight breaks out. Well played to Thresh, but it just wasn't enough. Gained 20 LP, so now we're sitting at 406 LP heading into game number 3. And game number 3 is a spicy one. We are playing Lux Sion in the bot lane. This is one of my all-time favorite combos. It's just as good as the Heimerdinger, maybe even stronger. It really depends. You're gonna see me doing this a lot. At level 1, I run straight into the enemy team, try to proc the aftershock, and a lot of the times I die for it, which is fine with me. I end up getting their summoner spells, lowering their health, and this gives us lane pressure. That's the goal. So I came back to lane and I snuck in this bush. I see the wave is pushing in our direction, so if I just sit here, there's a chance that this Nami is gonna path straight into us and we're gonna get a Q onto her. But what happens is the Lux does the classic all chat bait. Report Sion, he's AFK. This is a strategy I usually tell people to do, and she did it all by herself. Now they're like questioning if I quit because of that level 1 went so bad, and we can use this to our advantage, which we do. We land the E and we combo out the enemy ADC. As we were recalling, I was critiquing what Lux said, so next time she could make it even better, and the Gwen caught us off guard. And of course this champion is immune to knockups, so down goes the Lux. Ah, what a champion. I was about to recall, but then I noticed Lux is teleporting in and the wave is crashing, so I thought there might be an opportunity to land a Q onto the Kaiser, which could be a kill. Well, I managed to get the Q, but the kill part, that did not work out in our favor. I think I'm just so used to the Luxes one-hitting people when I get a knockup, but that means they need to be level 6, and she clearly wasn't. Another cheese happens in the bot lane. The Vi came and was sitting in the bush. I was acting like no one was there, and they fell for it. But this invited the enemy team to collapse onto us. I swear, this game just felt like a never-ending action spree. I could never go back to base. I'm always forced to stay because the kills just keep coming. Even with all this action and all these kills we're getting, take a look at the score. 14-17, things are still neck on neck. We are barely winning. I thought we were ahead, but we're not. We're behind in points, and that's because Set in the top lane was absolutely demolishing. Once again, that's the second game today where Set is popping off, and it does become a problem, by the way, in the next team fight. Here is the biggest mistake of the game, and it was caused by me. This is why I no longer allow Gwen in my game. Gwen is now permanently banned. It's not happening anymore. I'm sick of versing a champion that can ignore my spells. Right there, she's in the middle of 4 people, walks away, no problem. No thank you, okay? I am not dealing with that anymore. They get a full clean ace and we are in trouble. They pick up the Baron after it and get a bunch of gold off of our towers. Look at her go. Immune to spells. Who thought that was a fucking good idea? Anyway, despite the glim look, the team was quite tilted and I was trying to keep them in it mentally at least, but we weren't completely out. Vi was going glass cannon and it showed that we could potentially win even though this set is level 17. We're still fighting back. There's a little bit of hope left. That hope was crushed by the Set and the Gwen. Even though we picked off the other 3, we just couldn't deal with them at all, those 2. And this time, they got the Baron and they were able to successfully push through our base. There was nothing we could do about it. The level advantages they had over us was too big. We ended up losing 20 LP. We're now sitting at 386 LP. And welcome to game number 4. The first time we have an actual ADC. We've been playing with Heimerdingers, with Luxes. We have an ADC, it's an Ashe, and unfortunately, it's an autofill Ashe. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. Even though he's autofill, the start of this lane plays out very well in our favor until this moment. I wasn't expecting to be bursted that quickly. We were gonna die anyway because the Graves ganked at level 2. That's what gave them the courage to go forward like that. Usually people don't be that aggressive. Either way, I'm not too angry. The Graves then made a poor choice of trying to invade our blue side. Kindred smited and stole it, which gives him level 3. And now we're able to collapse onto this Graves and we get the kill. So overall, I think we get a net positive from that because enemy has no summoner spells. Our jungler is now ahead in gold. It's a shame that we get hard collapsed by everyone. 4-man stack that early in the game, that's kind of rare. Both teams this game invested a lot of time into the bot lane. It started with the enemy team ganking us, but then our team started to retaliate. Once Ari had the levels and the gold, she was absolutely killing it. I do actually think she was leading the way in terms of Galio versus Ari. Skipping ahead now, we are at 20 minutes into this game. The scoreline is 13-25, so the gold difference has dramatically increased in our favor. Trendmere is split pushing. He has control of the lane and he is just going for it. There is no one to stop him. Not only that, but we are dominating as a 4 as well. So overall, our team members are outperforming the enemy, especially this Ari. I noticed that the Trendmere got pushed off of the last inhibitor while they were chasing after my team. I decided to sneak around the back and try and get it myself. As soon as you manage to get 3 inhibitors down, the game's over. So even if I die getting this, it's gonna ensure that I gain LP. So that's what we do. We suicide for the inhibitor and secure all 3 of them. This means that we get double super minions on every single lane. We then went and got the Baron and closed out the game with the minions. There's nothing they can do. It's that easy. We are now up to 406 LP. The climb north continues. Subscribe, leave a comment, and don't forget to like the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Y'all ain't on this level, bitches, Tilterella.